Hello there again, guys. Miles from NextTime TechTime here, and today I have another $500 gaming PC build. Now, with my previous $400 PC build, I've made two versions of this $500 gaming PC. There's an AMD version and there's an Intel and Nvidia version. The version you're watching right here is the Intel and Nvidia version. If you prefer AMD parts over Intel and stuff, you can click the link right here. But if you like Nvidia or Intel parts, you're at the right video. And let's get started. So the CPU I chose for this build is the Intel Pentium G3258. This is a newer Intel Pentium CPU based on Devil's Canyon, and the overclocking power on the CPU is quite shocking for its price value. As when you overclock it well, it can pretty much match up to Intel i3 processors at much higher price. So because of that, I decided to go with this to keep things cheapish in this build, but you still have a nice CPU and you'll have better upgrade options. Okay, now let's move on to the motherboard. The motherboard I chose for this build is the BioStar Hi-Fi BA5S3 Plus motherboard. Now this is a fairly standard motherboard for a cheap price. The only major features it really has is 4 RAM slots with max capacity of 32 GB, as well as USB 3.0 head. Like I said, it's a fairly standard motherboard, and it gets the job done. So we're going to use that. Alright, now let's move on to memory. The memory I put in this build is one stick of 8GB Corsair XMS brand RAM. A Corsair XMS is a great line of RAM, and 8GB will be just enough for gaming. That's like the sweet spot right now in terms of gaming performance. 4GB will get you started, but you might want to upgrade to 8 in the future. 16 gigs will be overkill unless you're doing video editing or something like that. But like I said, 8GB is just what we need for a build like this. Okay, now let's move on to storage. The storage I put in this build is a 1TB Seagate Barracuda hard drive. So 1TB of storage will be plenty of space for all your games and other media you might have on your computer. And for a cheap price, around $50, is perfect for this build. Alright, now let's move on to the video card. The video card I chose for this build is the EVGA GeForce GTX 660. Now there's a little older card than some of the cards out there like the GTX 760 or 750 Ti. However, the GTX 660 still packs a punch to some games, allowing you to play most modern titles at 1080p at around high settings, or maybe even ultra. You have to get a CPU. Okay, now let's move on to the case. The case I chose for this build is a Corsair Speckle 3 White. Now, the Speckle 3 White is an ATX mid-tower case. Its appeal pretty much being its design, the amount of fans it has and can hold, as well as the side window to see all your components. Overall, it's a pretty nice case for around $45. I would recommend it to a lot of people. Alright, now let's move on to the power supply. The power supply I put in this build is a Corsair CX500M. The CX500M, it's a 500 watt power supply, but due to the M in the name, that means it's a semi-modular power supply. Now, you could save money by going with a standard 500 watt power supply, but I think it will be better in the long run to go with a semi-modular power supply. So cable management will be less hectic, as I know with some builds, the cable management is just all over the place. For a first time building, I think it would be a pretty good idea to have better cable management. Right, the last thing I put in this build is the LG DVD writer. It's a DVD writer. CDs, DVDs, all that stuff. That's all you really need to know about it. Now, if you don't use optical media, you can take this out the build and save about $15. Well guys, that was it for my $500 gaming Intel / Nvidia build. If you guys liked it, make sure to leave a comment and to subscribe to NextTime TechTime. If you don't like it, make sure to leave a comment on what I can do to improve my videos for the future. Well guys, I'm Miles from NextTime TechTime, and I'll see you guys next time.